Tom didn't want to continue in the fight.
So you're not too happy then on what the president of the organization is saying towards it?
Well, what do you think?
October 25th, 2025, UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi. Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane for the undisputed UFC heavyweight championship. This is Aspinall's first fight as the undisputed champion after Jon Jones retired and gave up the belt. It's his first fight since July 2024, over a year on the sidelines. And this is supposed to be his moment, his coronation, his chance to prove he's the real heavyweight champion. The fight lasts less than 1 round because Cyril Gane pokes Tom Aspinall in both eyes simultaneously, deep, like trying to turn his head into a bowling ball, as Aspinall would later describe it.
Yeah, the eye, well, both eyes, but especially the right eye, still ongoing.
And Aspinall can't see. He can't continue. The referee stops the fight. No contest. The Abu Dhabi crowd boos. And just like that, Tom Aspinall's first title defense is over before it really began. Now, you'd think that would be the end of the story. Unfortunate accident. Immediate rematch. Move on. But no. Because what happened after UFC 321 turned into one of the messiest, most dramatic situations in recent UFC history. And it involves Tom Aspinall posting a YouTube video calling Cyril Gane a cheater, Dana White giving health updates without actually talking to Aspinall, medical reports showing serious eye damage, Ben Askren calling Aspinall whiny, Jon Jones trolling him, and a heavyweight champion who's been stuck in the hospital for weeks with double vision, wondering why everyone thinks he's faking it. Let me walk you through this whole mess, because it's got everything. Accusations of intentional cheating, UFC politics, medical controversy, social media warfare, and a champion who's getting destroyed online while doctors are telling him he might need surgery on both eyes. So here's how it goes down. UFC 321. The fight starts. And immediately, people notice Cyril Gane is fighting with his fingers extended. Like, really extended. Pointing toward Aspinall's face in almost every exchange. First minute of the fight, Gane pokes Aspinall in the eye. Referee Jason Herzog warns him. Aspinall continues. But then later in the round, it happens again. Except this time, it's both eyes. At the same time, Gane's fingers go straight into both of Aspinall's eye sockets, deep, and Aspinall immediately backs away, covering his face. He's blinking frantically. He can't see. The doctor comes in to check on him, and Aspinall says he cannot continue. The fight's ruled a no contest. Aspinall retains the belt because the fight never officially happened, and he's immediately taken to the hospital in Abu Dhabi for evaluation. Now, what's Dana White's immediate reaction? At the post-fight press conference, Dana says something that raises eyebrows. He says, Tom didn't want to continue in the fight, not Tom couldn't continue, not Tom was unable to see, but Tom didn't want to continue. Think about the difference in those words. Didn't want to implies it was a choice. Like Aspinall could have kept fighting but chose not to. Like maybe he was looking for a way out. And that's exactly how a lot of fans interpreted it.
Slightly disappointing because he was already giving updates on my health and he had no idea what had gone on. Yeah, so disappointing, mate, disappointing.
The MMA community goes wild. Some people are defending Aspinall, saying you can't fight with no vision, especially against a dangerous striker like Gane. But a lot of people are calling him soft, saying he quit, saying he took the easy way out. Even other fighters are piling on. Jon Jones, who Aspinall has been calling out for years, posts mocking messages. He's calling Aspinall overrated, a one-trick pony, a quitter. TJ Dillashaw says Aspinall took the easy way out. Jiri Prochazka says a real man would fight until the end, implying Aspinall isn't one. And the internet's flooded with memes and hate. Meanwhile, Aspinall's in the hospital in Abu Dhabi getting his eyes tested. Then he flies back to the UK. And for weeks, he goes silent. No social media posts, no interviews, no updates, just radio silence. And during this silence, Dana White gives another interview. He says, "As far as I know, there's no damage to the eye. He doesn't have a detached retina. Tom should heal up soon and we'll figure out when we can make the fight again." Now, here's the problem. Dana White has not actually talked to Tom Aspinall. He's giving medical updates on his champion's condition without having spoken to him. He's telling the media that Aspinall's eyes are fine based on secondhand information. And Aspinall, who's going to multiple hospitals and seeing multiple specialists, knows that's not true. So Aspinall decides to speak up. Late November, he posts on Instagram medical documents from the NHS showing his diagnosis, and it's not pretty. The report says, following a bilateral eye poke injury sustained during a UFC fight in October 2025, the patient has been diagnosed with bilateral traumatic Brown syndrome, indicating significant disruption to the superior oblique tendon trochlear complex. Now, if you don't speak doctor, let me translate. Brown syndrome is an eye movement disorder that affects the muscle-controlling vertical eye movement. Bilateral means both eyes. Traumatic means caused by injury. And the superior oblique tendon trochlear complex is the mechanism that lets your eyes move up and down and coordinate with each other. The medical report continues. Persistent diplopia in multiple gaze positions, including lateral gaze and up gaze. That's double vision, everywhere. Blurred vision and photophobia following the trauma. Light sensitivity, marked restriction of elevation and adduction in both eyes. His eyes physically can't move properly. Severe bilateral visual field depression. He literally can't see parts of his vision field. And then there's this part. Mr. Aspinall must abstain from sparring, fighting, or participating in any combat-related activity until full resolution of eye movement impairment and diplopia. He's not medically cleared at all. Depending on clinical progression, targeted periocular steroid injections or surgical intervention to address persistent motility impairment may be required if symptoms fail to resolve. Translation: he might need surgery on both eyes, including injections directly into the area around his eyeballs. So when Dana White's saying there's no damage to the eye and Tom should heal up soon, the actual medical reality is that Aspinall has a serious condition affecting both eyes, persistent double vision, restricted eye movement, and might need surgery. Aspinall posts this medical report with a caption, "Thanks for all the love, support, and memes. Fuck the hate. Coming to get my revenge on the big cheater." Big cheater. He's calling Cyril Gain a cheater. And that's when he decides to post a YouTube video explaining everything. The video drops on his YouTube channel. It's about 12 minutes long, and Aspinall goes into detail about what happened, what he's been dealing with, and why he thinks Cyril Gain was intentionally trying to poke his eyes out. Here's what Aspinall says in the video. "When it initially happened, I didn't really think much of it. I thought, accidental eye poke, whatever. But look, when I watched the fight back, that's when I really got the gist of what's going on. The guy was trying to fucking poke my eyes out all the way through that round." He goes on, "Multiple exchanges, nearly every exchange where I could put him in danger. He had his fingers out pointing towards my eyes. The guy was cheating from the first second, and the way that he wanted to win that fight was to have me compromised by cheating." And then he says, "My thoughts on him? I think he's a big cheater. Look at all his fights." Aspinall includes clips in the video showing other Gain fights, where he's got his fingers extended, where he's hitting people in the back of the head, where he's using what Aspinall calls dirty tactics. He even brings up John Jones, who before fighting Gain at UFC 285 in March 2023, said he noticed Gain hits people in the back of the head and uses dirty tactics. Aspinall's father and coach, Andy Aspinall, is in the video too, watching the fight footage. And he's saying, every time his hand comes out, it does this, showing the fingers extending toward the eyes. And it's wrong. But the part that goes most viral is when Aspinall's asked about Dana White's comments, about the "Tom didn't want to continue" line. And Aspinall laughs and says, "Well listen, I didn't continue, and I'll tell you why I didn't continue, because I'm not a fucking dummy. I'm not gonna go out there and fight one of the best strikers in the world if I can't see with any eye. When it's a foul, why am I going to put my health at risk when I can't see at all?" And when he's asked if he's happy with what Dana said, Aspinall just laughs. He doesn't directly trash Dana, but it's clear he's not happy. He also addresses the people saying he was looking for a way out. If you were sidelined from doing your job for 15 months, not allowed to do anything, then train your ass off for 6 months for a fight to get double eye poked and left with no vision for nearly 6 weeks because of an illegal move? How do you think I feel? And he makes it clear he's still dealing with serious symptoms. The eye, well, both eyes, but especially the right eye, still ongoing. There's talk of surgery in the eyes. We've got to see how it goes over the next few weeks. They don't really know when I'm going to be back at the moment. I am still not cleared to train or do anything. Now, this video goes viral, millions of views, and the reaction is split. Some people are like, yeah, Aspinall's right, Gane was cheating, look at the footage. Others are saying Aspinall's making excuses, that he's being whiny, that he should have fought through it. And one person who definitely falls in the second camp is Ben Askren, former UFC welterweight, Bellator champion, Olympic wrestler. He sees a clip from Aspinall's video, the part where Aspinall's calling Gane a cheater, and Ben posts on X. This is so whiny, bad look. That tweet goes viral too, and it adds fuel to the fire of people saying Aspinall's complaining too much, that he's playing the victim, that this whole thing looks bad for him. Now, here's where it gets interesting from Ben Askren's perspective. Ben recently went through a double lung transplant, a life-threatening medical situation where he nearly died. So when he's calling Aspinall whiny, there's this implied contrast. Like, I almost died and I'm not complaining, and you're crying about an eye poke. But the counter-argument is, Ben Askren isn't being asked to fight Cyril Gane with compromised vision. Aspinall has a legitimate medical diagnosis, persistent double vision, restricted eye movement, and he's being told by doctors he might need surgery. So is it whiny to explain your medical situation and call out a guy you think was intentionally cheating? Or is it justified? That's the debate that's raging across MMA social media. Meanwhile, Dana White has to address this. Because now Aspinall's publicly saying Dana gave health updates without talking to him. And Dana said there's no eye damage when there clearly is. So at the UFC 323 post-fight press conference in early December, Dana finally responds. And he's trying to do damage control. Dana says, I get it. I don't remember exactly what I said. That I think his eyes were okay? Here's the thing, I know Tom said I haven't even talked to him, but we have people all over him right now, checking up on him, making sure he's good, if he needs any help or a specialist. He continues, I am no doctor. I am just saying what I've heard. It wasn't said in a way, oh, I think he's fine. I said, I think Tom's eyes are good. He's gonna take some time, heal. So Dana's defense is basically, I wasn't saying his eyes are fine. I was just repeating what I heard from UFC staff who are checking on him. I'm not a doctor. My comments were taken out of context. But here's the problem with that. Defense. Aspinall has said publicly that Dana hasn't talked to him. Me and Dana don't really speak like that anyway, ever, Aspinall said. I've said hello here and there, but I don't really have a relationship with Dana. I speak to Hunter, Campbell. So if Dana's not talking to Aspinall directly, and he's getting information from UFC staff, and that information is clearly incomplete or wrong, because Dana said no damage when there's serious damage, then what's really going on? Is the UFC downplaying the severity of Aspinall's injury because they want the rematch to happen quickly? Are they trying to control the narrative so Aspinall doesn't look bad? Or did Dana genuinely not know how serious it was? And this gets into bigger questions about how the UFC treats champion injuries and medical information. Because Aspinall is saying he was disappointed in Dana. He's saying it didn't help the cause for Dana to be giving updates saying his eyes were fine when they weren't. In an interview with Ariel Helwani, Aspinall elaborates, yeah, slightly disappointed because he hadn't spoken to me, and he was already giving updates on my health when he had no idea what was going on. He started giving updates that there was nothing wrong with my eye, when that isn't the case. And Aspinall makes it clear he's done a lot for the UFC. I've done a lot for the UFC. I've taken short notice fights, I've been patient, I've waited. The implication being, I've been a good soldier for this company, and when I get seriously injured because of a foul, the president is out there saying I didn't want to continue, and my eyes are fine. So now we've got this situation where, 1. The heavyweight champion can't train and might need eye surgery. 2. He's being called a quitter and whiny by parts of the MMA community. 3. He's publicly calling his opponent a cheater. 4. He's disappointed in Dana White's handling of the situation. 5. The UFC wants to book a rematch but can't because Aspinall isn't medically cleared. 6. No one knows when Aspinall will be able to fight again. And all of this is playing out on social media and YouTube, with the champion having to defend himself and post medical records to prove he's not faking it. The heavyweight division is in limbo. Some people, like ex-fighter Josh Thompson, are suggesting the UFC should make an interim title fight. Maybe Cyril Gane versus Alex Pereira. Keep the division moving while Aspinall recovers. But that's a slap in the face to Aspinall. He just became undisputed champion. He got injured because of an illegal move, and now they might make an interim belt because he's taking too long to heal. Meanwhile, Herb Dean, one of the UFC's top referees, has announced that officials will start deducting points for eye pokes more regularly. This policy change is directly in response to the Aspinall incident. Because eye pokes have been a problem in MMA forever, and the Aspinall situation has brought it back into focus. But that doesn't help Aspinall right now. He's still dealing with double vision. He's still not cleared to train. He's still being told he might need surgery. And he's watching John Jones troll him online, watching Ben Askren call him whiny, watching fans make memes about him quitting, all while his medical reports clearly show he has a serious injury. Michael Bisping, who lost an eye in his MMA career, has tried to give Aspinall advice. He's saying, "Don't come online and show the doctor's note. Don't try to prove your case to the haters. Just focus on getting healthy." But Aspinall felt he had to post the medical records because people genuinely thought he was faking the injury. They thought he was looking for a way out because maybe Gane was winning the first few minutes. And Aspinall's thinking, "I just spent a year waiting for this fight. I trained my ass off for 6 months. Why would I fake an eye injury to get out of it?" The reality is, Brown syndrome is a real condition. The medical reports are from the NHS, the UK's National Health Service, advanced imaging on CT and MRI, orthoptic evaluations, specialists. This isn't something you can fake. Your eyes either move properly or they don't. You either have double vision or you don't. And Aspinall's saying, "I'll double eye poke you full blast and see if you can still write grim comments on Instagram." You tough guys out there who think you'll be able to carry on with one of the best strikers in the world when you can't see a thing. Because that's the core issue here. Aspinall wasn't just dealing with some discomfort. He literally couldn't see properly. Double vision, blurred vision, restricted eye movement. And he's supposed to continue fighting Cyril Gane, who's known for his precision striking. Imagine trying to defend against head kicks and punches when you're seeing two of everything. When your eyes can't track movement properly. When you can't judge distance. That's not being tough, that's being stupid. That's how fighters end up with permanent damage. But in the moment, in the arena, with tens of thousands of people booing, it looks like quitting. It looks soft. And that perception has followed Aspinall for weeks. As for Cyril Gane, he hasn't really addressed any of this. He hasn't apologized. He hasn't reached out to Aspinall, according to Aspinall. He's just moved on. And that's made Aspinall even more convinced that the eye pokes were intentional. Whether they were or not, we can't say for sure. Maybe Gane's fighting style naturally has extended fingers. Maybe he's not consciously trying to poke eyes, but his technique creates situations where it happens. Or maybe, as Aspinall believes, Gane knows what he's doing and uses it as a weapon to compromise opponents. What we do know is that Gane was warned for eye pokes during the fight. We know John Jones commented before fighting Gane that he noticed Gane uses dirty tactics. We know there's footage from other Gane fights showing similar situations. And we know the UFC has now decided to enforce point deductions more strictly because of this incident. So the question is, when does Aspinall fight again? And when he does, is it going to be against Gane in the rematch? Dana White has said they want to book the rematch as soon as Aspinall's medically cleared, but that could be months away. Late November medical reports show he's still not cleared, still has symptoms, still might need surgery. We're talking potentially March or April 2026 at the earliest. And in the meantime, Aspinall's stuck in this weird position. He's the undisputed heavyweight champion, but he only has one asterisked fight since July 2024. His title defense ended in a no contest. He's being called a quitter by part of the fan base. He's disappointed in Dana White. And he's watching his peers like John Jones and Cyril Gane and Alex Pereira get all the attention while he's in the hospital. Aspinall has made it clear he wants revenge. "Coming to get my revenge on the big cheater," he posted. He's not letting this go. He wants to fight Gane again and prove he can beat him when his eyes work properly. But first, he has to actually get cleared to fight. And that's not in his control. That's up to doctors and specialists, and whether his eyes heal properly without needing surgical intervention. So here we are, a heavyweight champion with a serious eye injury, a YouTube video calling his opponent a cheater, a UFC president who gave inaccurate health updates, former fighters calling the champion whiny, fans divided on whether Aspinall's a quitter or was justified in stopping, and a division that's on hold while everyone waits to see what happens. The whole thing is a mess. And it all started with one illegal move that lasted a fraction of a second. Fingers in both eyes. And now, 2 months later, we're still dealing with the fallout. Welcome to the UFC, where sometimes the drama outside the octagon is bigger than anything that happens inside it.